Hello, Capricorn, North Node. Welcome to your reading. This is Samara, your Feminist Alchemist, and this is your reading for April 30th to May 29th from the new moon partial eclipse in Taurus, leading up to just before the next new moon in May. So this is a general reading. So the messages may not resonate with everybody. Just take what strikes a chord with you and leave the rest aside. If you're feeling this reading, you can give it a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I upload. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This is a North Node reading, so it doesn't apply to any other placement. I read specifically for the North Node as per my guide's instructions. And if you're not sure what your North Node sign is, you can check out my website. There's a North Node chart on there, and I've linked that in the description box below. I've also linked a place where you can check out your birth chart. You can run your birth chart for free, and then you'll know your North Node placement and all other significant placements. What else do I have linked in the description box? Also a video that I created explaining what my guides, or how my guides explained the North Node to me. And also there is a link to an in-depth interpretation of Capricorn North Node. That is by Astro Finesse, who's here on YouTube, and I've linked that in the description box below as well. And I think that is all that I have linked for you. All of the decks are actually also in the description box. The majority of them are affiliate links. So if you want to check that out, those are there as well. So let's start with your reading. We're starting with the Return of Spirit cards by Cheryl Lee Harnish. And we're going to check out the universal energies that are affecting you at this time. Now, I refer to them as universal energies, just meaning those of the highest frequency that are streaming their way down to you right now. I mean, of course, they're all on offer to us at all times. However, these are the ones that are meant for you, specifically for your growth, to tap into. So let's start there. And you are my first reading of the day, so this deck is feeling very not talkative just yet. I pre-shuffled and meditated, but they're feeling like they may need to do a little dinging of the bell to get your cards loose. Okay. Let's try this again. We have voice. Good fast forward if you need to. Worthy. Oh. Sexuality. Violet Flame. I feel like I'm just double checking if there's something else that wants to come out. Yep. Up. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, you have Fairy Magic, which I don't usually look at the bottom of the deck, but today it felt appropriate. Okay, I also had slipped my mind to light my candle, which also makes a difference. So we'll start with, so we have the Voice card, Worthy, Sexuality, and Violet Flame, and Up. So I see that your voice is being activated, and for some of you this is actually quite literally. You have to start using your voice more often. Or you'll just feel called, like you'll find yourself using your voice, I don't know how to say it, subconsciously, passively, or without thinking about it, like humming, singing in the shower, singing like when you're walking, maybe talking to yourself out loud, because your voice is being activated. It's just, but this, of course, may also come in the form of you finding opportunities to sing, to chant, to meditate. They're showing me like someone getting a random like promotional email to do like a virtual chanting, or what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, I'll use chanting for toning, for lack of a... Oh, mantra singing. That's what singing mantras and things like this. They're showing me those type of activities kind of coming into your sphere. It could also, we'll get more about it as we get down into it, but there's also using your voice to share information, and the recognition that your voice is important and worthy. You know, you may be curing times, healing past experiences with having used your voice and being ridiculed for it, for example, or if you grew up in a family environment where you were to be seen but not heard, or where your opinions were vastly different from your family's, and they still may be. And this is an energy of you were given certain ways of thinking, ways of being, certain knowledge, certain perspectives, because that voice is important in the collective environment. Like your unique voice is needed. Then we have sexuality. So this may be around sexuality. You may have a unique perspective on sexuality. It's a strange way to put it. I don't want to say unique perspective. You may have a not flowing with the mainstream perspective. So you may have a more spiritual perspective, sexuality as creative energy, for example. So a more holistic perspective rather than the narrow, sex pleasure center, the way that it's been packaged and commercialized for us. You're being exposed to the greater universal knowledge around sexuality, which we all have yet to really tap into, but it's an important step forward for the whole family, human family. So Violet Flame, there's energies for a lot of transmutation around these themes, using around your voice, worthiness, sexuality. There could be shame attached to it. And up is showing me that masculine energy, ascension. I see you not giving a poo about what people think about you and going in the direction of creation. So I'm getting the feeling that, like, they're showing me kind of the violet flame as a womb, and this as a penis. So, and that you're going to very purposely in the month of May be able to direct energies to be transmuted, things that you want to transform, and you're going to transform them in a very active way, which could be with taking on new, speaking up, basically, and putting yourself out there, and allowing the world around you to shape itself based on your vibration. So Capricorn North Node as a Cancer South Node. Cancer South Node is more family oriented, let's say. It's watery, right? Cancer's a water sign. Capricorn's an earth sign. Cancer's very emotional, and Capricorn is emotional but practical above all else. Steadfast. So there is a, let's say they're showing me this in Cancer being receiving, right? So Cancer may identify an issue and perform, let's say, magic, say affirmations, make crystal grids, things like this, to allow the energy to come in a certain way to heal the situation. Capricorn is much more, how can I navigate this situation? And it's very much one action, one step at a time, one action at a time, but it's action. And this is what you're being called to and supported in doing in the month of May, is taking your inner reality, your inner world, and identifying, seeing those steps forward as to how your inner world can more reflect, your outer world can more reflect your inner world. So I am now shuffling two decks that are mixed together here, Sacred Geometry Activations and Sacred Geometry of Relationships by Lon. Ooh. Okay, I'm just collecting them all to the side here, and then I will show them to you. Four. We have two more. There we go. Six. Okay. Let's see what we have here. First chakra, which is the root chakra. Then we have connection, awareness, this down a little bit. Fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, reflection, and abundance. Ooh, this is really nice for you. So, I like these two chakras together for you, Capricorn North Node, at this time. I'm getting, so first chakra, oh, I didn't explain what this row is if you're new. This is your 5D higher self communicating to you what areas are highlighted for you in the month of May for your soul expansion, for your, to reach kind of a higher vibration, let's call it. Connecting to your root chakra, connecting to the earth, as the word connection is here, and awareness, and fourth chakra. I kind of get this all as a blob of information, and the blob of information is this. I see your soul family coming in as long as you're grounded into the earth, into your root chakra. I would even go further to say your earth star chakra, but we'll leave that I'll leave that there. I won't go deep down that rabbit hole. Connection to your physical world, your physical safety, connection to, and Cancer North Node can also be less concerned with the material aspects of life, and Capricorn North Node is. Cancer South Node, Capricorn North Node, right? So you're looking at connecting your sense of self, your worth, your values to how it shows up in your physical world, and being aware of what you are manifesting. And this feeling of safety, there are two anchors for your feeling of safety. There's the trust in the earth vibration itself, and there's the trust in your heart as a guide, like as your main guidance system. And these two are important for guiding you forward at this time, and especially guiding you forward to where you are creating all of the abundance that you desire. And that is not limited, that is financial, but it's not limited to financial, because there's a lot of need to build around your heart, love, and nature. Why do I say that? I'm sure people out there will say, we're not all meant to live our dream life for, because whose dream is it to drive a bus, for example, or whose dream of it is it to collect garbage, but that's only part of the dream, right? First of all, your career is not your life. And that's what they want you to know. Your career is not your life. It can be, but it should only be if it's a heart-led career. Now, that doesn't mean that if you end up in a how can I put it? For some people, a job is just a job, and they measure the quality of their life by everything around it, right? So as long as the job is giving them what they need in terms of balance, work-life balance, right? And in terms of being able to provide, for example, being able to, if the work environment is good, as in friends, other types of benefits, right? All of those things come with pros and cons. This is what they're telling me. But they're saying that you have to think of your abundance in a much broader sense, and believe that you can create it, and believe that you are worthy of it, and that the universe is built for your abundance to be so. right? There is not everyone's dream is to be a CEO or to be these things that we see on TV as the markers of success, right? Success is what you define what success is for you, and you define what abundance is for you. And they're giving me this, so I'm going to say it. They're saying that, jobs of the past that people considered blue collar are now paying very well because everyone has been, not everyone, I obviously can only speak from the environment that I live in, right? But for example, everyone going to university, to the point where the university degrees don't have as much, they don't come with as much value as they used to because everyone has one, right? And now the jobs that are more manual pay more because everyone was chasing I want to, wear a cool fancy suit when I go to work and be a shot caller, right? But the reality is the world needs more than that to function, right? And the reality is that it may look glamorous, but it may not be fitting for you. And this is where, so I totally went off on a tangent there, but it was a necessary one. They said awareness of what you're creating and reflection of what you created and what that stemmed from, right? And they're saying that some of this feeling of unworthiness comes from something in this area, in the sexuality area. And I'm getting that you should be using your voice. You will be given opportunities to use your voice to change the course of situations, and you should capitalize on that. So if you are used to holding your tongue, this would be a month where it will almost feel unbearable to hold your tongue because your voice is being activated, because your voice is needed. And notice how the voice card and the violet flame card both have a good deal. Well, both have are purple. I'm going to go to your 3D cards. These are showing situations in your physical reality that are coming up for clearing at this time, or as opportunities for growth. Sometimes I'm wondering if I'm missing something. Oops. Oh, Temperance in reverse. Yeah, we are missing something. This card was on the floor. 7th chakra, crown chakra. Ooh, okay. So, because I felt like this wasn't done. 7th chakra, crown chakra, you have a lot of divine. The divine is opening the path to your abundance. It's always been open, but it's like now they're really kind of pushing you down that path. And they're really trying to guide you. And at the root chakra, at the root of everything is your feelings of worthiness. In terms of your abundance, at the root of everything is your feeling of worthiness. And this is why connecting to your crown chakra is super important. And I find it actually very funny. Quite a lovely synchronicity that I discovered. This card fell on the floor when I was shuffling. And when I turned over my shoulder to pick it up, I saw the 7th chakra card on the floor, which I had missed that it had fallen. And both cards are, Temperance is also about faith, right? about patience, but patience that comes from faith in the divine. So your higher self is saying you need to let the divine in, and what's showing up as in your physical reality right now is a situation where there's anxiety. And I'm hearing that you're not connected. You're not aware of the connection between your heart chakra and your root chakra. So you're not aware of the connection between the vibration of love and the vibration of safety and manifestation. So I am getting a lot of healing around sexuality as well. But it seems like this is less daunting than you believe it to be. I'll take a short time out from shuffling because it's really sticky. This is the Star Child Tarot by Danielle Noel. I just pulled the Major Arcana from the deck. So it is a full tarot deck, but I took the Major Arcana and the bonus cards out of it for the purpose of the major themes in your physical reality in May. Seems to be a lot to say for you, Capricorn, because usually when the cards don't want to come out, it's because I have more, they want me to say more. Healing around your sexuality. Oh, they want me to notice that the sexuality card is also red and green. So I will hold it up here. You have the first chakra and you have the fourth chakra, and sexuality is both of these colors. So there is okay, they're encouraging me just to use my voice. So some of you out there are experiencing or have experienced for a long time a disconnection between your heart and your sexuality. So they're saying that on the deepest level, you may not put your heart into sexual acts. They are separate for you, but that is affecting the quality of life that you are able to create for yourself. And if there is something that you feel you're unworthy of that passionate, a passionate sex life and love together, if you feel you're unworthy or there's something, shameful that cannot connect real love with sexuality, that is going to be cleared up in May as well. And it will take some reflection on your part and a willingness to go down that path. However, you are very well supported because you have several signs of high divine intervention that is going to prompt you to take an active role in your healing. Okay, let's see if there's something else. So I'm getting the feeling they're really not going to let me leave this corner until... So I'm sorry. It looks like your reading is going to be long today. How you think about your sexuality. And they're saying the sexuality is not just the act of having sex. It's a life force for yourself that you get to share, or that you get to use how you want to use. The Lovers and the Star. Okay, so I'm getting closer to what they want to say with this corner, because they're allowing me to move on. So, okay, so there's a need for connection to, or reflection on how you interpret sexuality. Okay. Starseed. So, after much negotiation with the divine, we have gotten the cards that represent your 3D reality and your physical reality in May. Temperance in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, the Lovers, the Star, and Starseed, which is the Fool card in this deck. Temperance in reverse. There are many parts of your life. You're going to start to notice the parts of your life where you don't feel that there's any spirit or soul connected. And these may be areas where you get frustrated, where you lose your temper, where you feel anxiety. And those are going to be more highlighted to you in the month of May. And I feel like you will be, these cups in reverse, it's feeling to me that you may feel worn out. If you're not already emotionally worn out, there's the potential for you to be worn out. So be mindful about your energy. The first chakra, the root chakra, your connection to the earth, is a big factor in how much natural vitality you have. Vitality, that's another word they want for the sexuality card. And how much vitality you have. So yes, you're going to see these areas of your life where there feels to be no divine in it, no soul, no divine, no heart, no love. Why are you going to see them? Because, well, I feel that the Hierophant in reverse wants to say that isolating yourself has been working against you. And you, in this month, will feel called out of your cave. So if there are only certain practices, certain hobbies, certain beliefs that you practiced in private, you're going to be pulled out of that comfort zone. for the sake of, that is being sent to you by the divine as an opportunity to connect with your abundant self and to confront what it is, to confront your self-limiting beliefs. So we have a lot of internal world work here. But the inner work will be revealed to you by you becoming aware, hyper aware of how your inner world is being reflected in your outer circumstances. The Star and the Lovers. Oh, that's so nice. It comes by the heart chakra, the Lovers. And a lot of this learning is going to come through seeing your relationships or evaluating your relationships, seeing your relationships in a new light. And reflecting on how you limited yourself within those relationships. So if your voice was suppressed, or if you suppressed it for the sake of getting along, but the voice is your true beliefs, your true values, your true beliefs, your true desires for how you want to live life, your heart's truth. This is not for the sake of judging those relationships. It's for the sake of seeing. I'm really seeing that you're being called to be your true, authentic self in life, to be the master of your own healing. Even though you're not doing that healing alone, it's you're calling on that healing by taking the actions that need to be taken. And they may not be big actions. There a lot happens when you shift a dynamic in a relationship where you are, for example, they're showing me when you're not intimidated by someone anymore and you say what's on your mind. Or if you're just not intimidated by them and so you don't take on certain things from them anymore, that already changes the dynamic and sets you on a path of transmuting that energy, right? So the divine and your divine team is really coming in to help you hold your own in in life in general, but they're going to show you the certain situations where it's most prevalent, let's say, because the Starseed card is, all of this awareness. And awareness is number 11, angelic presence and angelic assistance. To recognize that you were made the way you were made for a reason. And that includes if you have any questionable feelings about yourself around your sexuality. Yep, I think we are done for that section. Yay, that feels good. So we're going to the Wild Unknown Tarot to get guidance on how to navigate these energies for your highest good. Okay. We have the Star in reverse. Interesting. And then we have the Empress and the Father of Cups, both in reverse. Let me just make sure I'm not just holding the deck upside down. No, I'm not. They came out that way. The Four of Swords. and the Death card. Okay, Capricorn, North Node. The star in reverse. Did I put that the right way? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. These go this way. Let me just check if that's right. That's the way I'm supposed to put them down, but I don't know if that's how they want me to put them down. Okay, yeah. The star in reverse. You're being called to recognize the divine in yourself, Capricorn North Node. They're telling me that those drawn to this reading it's time for your divine, they wanted me to say designed spark. You have a divine design and you have a divine spark that you need to connect with and discover. This can very well be in your, if you don't know about the Earth Star Chakra, I'm going to start talking about that more and more because I've been called to. Your lower chakras, you should explore them and kind of look into healing them and seeing what comes up for you when you're healing them. Because, I have the sense that you felt betrayed by someone you really trusted, or even betrayed by the divine for some reason. Maybe you really, 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 really wanted something, or really prayed hard to be relieved of a situation, or that there seems to be a time in your life when you became weary of the divine. Yes, and I don't mean to laugh, because usually they're traumatic experiences that make that so. They want you to discover if that is so and where that occurred for you. The Empress in reverse and the Father of Cups. This to me, the Empress and the Father of Cups, who is the King of Cups, I'm going to hold it upright while I talk about it anyway, even though they're in reverse. They have a similar energy to me. Why? It's similar but different. There is intuition and emotion. In reverse, I'm feeling that you are suppressing both of those. Now, this is advice of how to move through this energy. And, we never want to really suppress anything, because it comes back to haunt us later. Right? In this case, I'm feeling that as much as you need the heart to connect to your heart in this process, you have to bring some masculine energy into your healing process, which is why this up card, which to me totally is phallic, has come in. And you are a Capricorn North Node, so I'm not at all surprised that they are calling upon you to put some more practicality to your healing process, to using your voice, to being aware of what you're manifesting. You may have to do this in a very regimented kind of way with the support of, a journal that has prompts, a online guide to healing, XYZ area of your life, because you need the structure within to work, because a lot of emotions could come up and likely will come up. I get, there's a lot of anger that may come out. You need a place for it before you end up like blowing up your life. Unless you want to, like that's completely up to you. But it's not just blowing up your life, abandoning the process. When people get swept away with their emotions when they're going through a transformational process, that's exactly the moment that they may step back and say, I can't do it. And having a structure, having, coping mechanisms in your back pocket, having someone you can talk to, or having a group that is going through the same process so that you can rely on each other during those times when you're like, I'm not strong enough to get through that. This is what these cards are telling me. You need to structure your emotional and spiritual healing into a physical reality type of structure, format, a template that you can follow, so that if you get emotional, you have a plan to stick to or something concrete to hold on to. Especially since, you've had this wavering faith in the divine. Then have faith in the world, in the root chakra, have faith in the structures and the steps that you can take. I love this little lamb. Take care of yourself. I'm getting you have some inner child healing to look at. That's it. Honestly, it's like there's a tender part of you that needs to be healed and nurtured. Don't be afraid to step back and rest. Don't be afraid to pull back from relationships that seem to drain you of a lot of energy. You need to go into your inner child, tell them it's okay to feel what they're feeling, allow them to speak what they're feeling, and allow them to request of you what they need to feel soothed in that moment. Maybe it's, I don't know, they showed me one of those brownie type sundaes. There's nothing wrong as long as it's not an addictive behavior. There's nothing wrong with soothing yourself with the abundance of the earth, which is, food, chocolate, sweets. It's all about balance, right? And it may not be food that you soothe yourself with. It could be nature. It could be activity. It could be reading, drawing. Allow your inner child to tell you what that is. And with the sword, I keep getting writing. The suggestion of like writing down to your inner child. Dear inner child, what can I do for you to make you feel good today? Signed, me. And then you write back from the inner child, dear me, I would like to go swimming. And then that's it, right? So, and you start to also trust your inner divine voice and your intuition. The Death card in the upright, you have the potential for a lot of transformation right now, but it requires you stripping yourself bare, as they're showing with this bird here. Stripping yourself bare, and giving that crap you've been carrying around away for transmutation, or putting it where it deserves to be put, especially if these feelings of unworthiness have been provoked by abuse, bullying, or just someone close to you who is very critical of you and has always been very critical of you. Now is a time when a lot of souls are becoming aware of that their uniqueness that they've been trying to, let's say, manage, erase, or fit into a mold so that they can be successful or have whatever they interpret to be a successful life, that they're realizing that their path to success was in them all along, in that they should just be how they're made and develop that further, right? So what I'm going to do now is look at, I'm going to put some cards, tarot, to determine, just to get some information on what your soul path is and why you're at this crossroads that you are at the moment. Shouldn't call it crossroads. This point in your journey where you are at the moment. Just going to see. I think they want me to move this guy, but we'll see. No, they want me to move this guy. I have to do what my first instinct says. So. And for this one, I am using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. So yes, as I said in the beginning, this is the general reading, so obviously I only have a certain amount of information as to your soul's path. That is, we're getting a general overview that kind of has application to as much of the group here as possible. All right. And they want me to show the bottom of the deck, which is, the star. That would be a total of 3 times. All 3 tarot decks gave you the star. So you're definitely being awoken at this time. And that awakening. So I keep seeing like a star. I'll show this card here. I keep seeing a light like a star with a crust around it, and the crust is breaking up to reveal the shininess underneath. So, yeah, you're being stripped of all that does not serve you. Okay, what is your soul's purpose? We get a little bit of information on that. 2 of Pentacles. You see, one of these things is very practical. It's a purse, and one of these pentacles is very etheric. It's almost like a dream. So you are called in this lifetime to not just birth things into form, but always be balancing this practical reality and your dream world. I also see your spiritual world and your physical world. The 6 of Wands to me is that people around you see your worthiness more so than you. And this is a calling to be in the spotlight, to not be afraid of being in the spotlight, no matter how big or small that spotlight is. And the King of Wands has an energy of a leader, right? Carrying the torch, leading the pack for action. It's an active masculine energy. I get the sense that you may in life have suppressed your passion, because that is also in the Two of Pentacles. It's like, do I do what's practical or do I do what I'm passionate about? Which is an interesting, like for Capricorn North Node, it is, a Capricorn would usually go for the practical, but you are balancing, you are making passion practical, right? King of Wands, Two of Pentacles, making passion practical. And this involves, now the page is more experimental, I believe. But the page is also building its wisdom. The Knight has more wisdom and knowledge on how to create and can create wherever life leads him. And obviously, if he's journeying around with pentacles and going and creating in all these different places and spaces with different people, he has to know when he has to leave certain things behind and give them to, the violet flame, give them to be transformed into something else. So I'm getting your soul purpose is to create. You're going to end up creating I don't know what you're going to create, but creation that is a balance of practicality and passion. And you're going to do this more than once to prove that it wasn't a fluke, right? And this is where saying I'm worthy and I know that the divine is going to, because you have to listen. This is the thing I think a lot of people have an issue with when they're building something. When you get the inner urge to abandon something or to change course, a lot of people don't go with it. And that's how they end up experiencing loss in a bigger, more dramatic way, because the universe says, no, we're done with it. We're going to burn it down. We're going to done. Because when I told you that you should change directions, you won't change, right? Because there's a difference between being dedicated to the idea and the vibration and the energy and being stubborn about how that has to manifest or how that has to come about. And this is also something that you will be learning and mastering in this lifetime. You will become the king, the sexuality, creative energy, reflection, divine messages, right? Creation is not going to be a straight line, right? And so if you have a grudge against the divine because something didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen, it was because it's not supposed to happen that way. And that doesn't mean that they don't want you to be successful and they don't want you to be creative and be happy and abundant. But if you're going to insist on something going a certain way and insist that your reality is a certain way, then you are blocking yourself off from the flow. Because they're telling me that Earth energy, Knight of Pentacles, and especially this particular card where he's, walking barefoot, he's very connected to the earth and knows that he is supported. I think that's all they want to say, so I'm going to get to your final oracle that I just shuffled. This is the Queen of the Moon oracle. By Stacey DeMarco. You got card number 2, New Beginnings. So I'm just going to read directly from the guidebook to see how this connects to your reading. You are offered a fresh start. The journey is beginning. Take the first steps towards something new. It is time to place emphasis on your health and well-being. And the affirmation is, I accept and rejoice in renewal and beginnings. There is something incredibly poetic and even romantic about that tiny sliver of silver that is the new moon. After the waning cycle, the depth of the dark moon, here is appearing in the sky incredibly a crescent of the finest light, almost a scratch upon the blackboard of the universe. Here is the evidence that even after the darkest night, light returns again. The crescent of the new moon is an ancient symbol that stretches back to ancient prehistory. There are cave drawings featuring crescent moons, sculptures of goddesses with crescent moon diadems, and the goddess Aphrodite, Hecate, Diana, Artemis, Inanna, and many Central Asian female deities were often depicted with new moon symbology. Go back even further into Neolithic cave paintings where moon and sun symbology features, with no phase more commonly being depicted than the new moon. When the new moon appears in the lunar cycle, we are gifted with a new beginning and a fresh start. What we have identified as useless or unneeded anymore has been released in the void of the dark moon, and here waiting is a new chance. Here we get to renew our lives and feel free enough to risk trying again. Whether we are asking for a fresh start in relationships or a new love, or are heralding the action of intentions such as better health, a new business, or the start of a new project, writing the new moon energy will assist us. Many creative people start new works on a new moon, and I personally, as an author, like to begin all my new works on this phase, even if beginning means simply typing up a cover page or outline. The most powerful of new moons for new starts traditionally are within the season of spring, and the companion stone or metal is Celestine. So, yes, you got the new moon card with the new moon coming. That's so awesome. So, yeah, new beginnings for you in the month of May. Let's see what your guides want to say to close this reading. I'm using messages from the guides, so appropriately named by James the Prog. And I'll grab 2 cards from this one. Oh, maybe more than 2, because those ones flew out like super quick. Okay. Okay, you got 4. 4 cards. So I'm going to use the 4 cardinal directions here. Where is this going? Never judge another. That goes down here. Let go of ego. Learn from your mistakes. Have an attitude of gratitude. So I'll let those resonate with you in whichever way they feel most appropriate. And Capricorn North Node, thanks for sticking around. I hope you have a great month. If you're so interested, you can check out my new monthly series, Grounding into Gaia. And otherwise, I will see you next month for your next reading. Until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.